What's up? Hey, hello everyone. Wow, so today we are back going to be talking about Survivor season 49, episode 9. So, my name is Rachel.
I'm Alyssa, and Rachel and I were just chatting before we started filming today, and we were both saying that this episode, I feel like kind of confusing. This episode made not as much sense as I feel like it should have. And so, if you were also confused, please let us know. Are we just dum dums? Is the real question.
I really thought Rizzo was going to get voted out at the end of the episode with an idol, and I was like, this sucks because I picked him for like my fantasy draft team, and I was like, now I'm gonna lose a bunch of points because he's gonna get eliminated with the idol. And then that didn't happen, and I was like, what the heck? Because everyone was saying, yeah, we don't like Rizzo and Savannah. We want to vote Rizzo out. We need to flush the idol throughout the entire episode. And then somehow Rizzo and them are able to convince everyone not to put votes on him. I was like, how? How is this happening?
Yeah, how is this happening? And then just like, why is this happening? Because I feel like we're missing a lot of content, which is so strange because the episodes are so long, and you would think that with longer episodes, you would be able to like give us the information we need.
I was so confused and then so shocked that Rizzo's plan actually worked. I really thought he was getting bamboozled the entire episode.
Yeah, I thought so as well.
So, we start off this episode with some ramifications from the split tribal council last week. Everyone was shocked that Yellow Sophie survived last week's split tribal, and then it made Yellow Sophie feel peeved and angry about this. Like, okay, why is everyone so happy or like angry that MC is gone and they are not happy to see me? I was like, oof, this is really bad for everyone else's social game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, no matter how much you dislike someone, like at least try to put on a face.
Yeah, I was like, okay, good for Sophie for realizing basically everyone wanted her out, even the people not at her split tribal. And now she's gonna fix her game. She's like, okay, this is the wake up call that I needed. I'm here to play. And I was like, this is good. But also, it's sort of obvious that everyone wanted you out because they keep on mentioning that why is MC not here?
Yeah, yeah. And like I'm sure for MC it must feel good watching this back and being like, wow, everyone did like me, but for Yellow Sophie, I feel like definitely not the best situation to find yourself in.
Yeah, if you're MC, maybe you're like peeved off that the split tribal council happened because, like Sophie said last week, it's sort of like, okay, I was gonna find spot pre-split, and then come to split, I am not in a very good spot. But on the other hand, you might say, like, okay, a good survivor player could try to get them out of a bad split.
Yeah. It's one of those things where a good survivor player I feel like can get out of a decently bad split, but if you get the worst split possible, sometimes there's just no getting out of it. Like sometimes there is no good way to play a bad hand. And so you can make the argument about like, oh, maybe a good player should have done this, this, or this. But I think it's also fair to be upset when like when you were dealt a hand and you played it and then halfway through the game you were dealt a totally different hand that was much worse than the one you were playing with before.
Maybe everyone on the island is very silly because they continue to let Rizzo get along with the hidden immunity idol. And like people being mad that Yellow Sophie's still there, they're also mad that, like, okay, you voted MC out and you flubbed the plan and you, like, didn't even flush Rizzo's idol. Like, we said this last week that the people back at camp would be like, WTF did you all do? Like, you didn't even vote the person out that we wanted, and you didn't even flush the idol. Like, what is happening over there?
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? So, like we said, kind of just confusing. Like, I want to get in these people's heads, to be quite honest.
So now that Yellow Sophie knows people are not liking of her, she wants to work with Blue Sophie and Savannah, With that, also, we see that Steven still wants to work with the Bottoms Up Alliance with Sage and Joanne. Last week, we were like, okay, does Steven's like spidey senses start to tingle? Does he see, okay, Sage and Joanne flipped on me on the MC vote. Are they still with me? Are they not with me anymore? But like low key, Steven needs Sage and Joanne. So even if he did have spidey senses, I feel like you still have to go to them and like butt kiss them so your like old yellow has the numbers.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely do need to like again, it comes back to the social game where it feels like sometimes in like new era survivor because of all of the idols and advantages and all the extra crap, like people's social game doesn't end up being as important, but like social game.
For Steven's social game, he tells Sage about Christina's idol, hoping to like cement their relationship more. We thought that someone would tell Alex, or Alex knows about the idol, but Alex would tell Blue Sophie about the idol. It doesn't seem like that happened. And now with Alex getting voted out, it probably won't flash back to that. So, money on Sage maybe having to spill the beans to Sophie about Christina's idol so that Christina's idol can get stolen.
Yeah, and again, I was kind of expecting again this week for the idol to get stolen or like something to happen. It felt very strange that again everyone is kind of leaving Rizzo alone.
Yeah, I do wonder if Steven was sketched out by Sage and Joanne flipping to vote MC out, and then, like, that's strike one. This week, Sage and Joanne flipping and keeping Rizzo around, that's strike two. I wonder if we'll hear from Steven in a confessional or something next week, him saying, like, yeah, three strikes. I cannot work with these people anymore. And then maybe Steven has to go to Savannah and Rizzo. It's like, okay, I can't fight and beat these people with the idol. I need to join them because Sage and Joanne have now flipped on me twice.
Yeah, I think the three strikes thing is definitely a difficult thing because you don't want to let someone get to a third strike. Like if they honestly it should be two strikes you're out because one strike maybe it just was better for their game, but two strikes is they're consistently like going behind my back and so like you said, don't want to let that happen.
Especially being left out of the vote and like Steven, Christina, and Alex voting incorrectly this time. A little bit different if maybe Sage and Joanne keyed Steven into the vote and let him know like what was up and that they weren't going to try to flush Rizzo's idol or split the vote on Rizzo and Blue Sophie this week. But yeah, if I were Steven, I'd be like, oh no. I'm actually on the bottom now. Me and Christina are the bottom two. I need to figure something out. And then he's got to try to go kiss up to Rizzo and Savannah, I feel like.
Yeah. Social gaming your way through it. Ass kissing your way through it.
I was confused throughout the episode. We hear like Sage and Jawan and other people saying that Sage and Jawan are the power duo of the game. It came up multiple times and I was sort of confused because I was like, two people isn't a majority. I would think they're more like in the middle and that's giving them power right now. Like they can pick which side they want because Steven's old yellow side needs them and then Rizzo and Savannah's side needs them. So that's why it looks like they're powerful. But I'm like, they're not. I wouldn't say they're the power duo of the season.
Yeah, like you said, two isn't a majority. I think sometimes people get really caught up in like, oh, these two are really close, but like they need other people to facilitate them like actually getting things done. I think like you said, the fact that they're kind of in the middle, able to work with anyone is the thing that makes them dangerous. So like just stop letting them work with you. So, Avi.
And also playing the middle can be called out and could be bad. Like we saw Rizzo calling Alex out for playing the middle this episode. It's like people will start to see, like, okay, Sage and Joanne are telling me things, but then they're voting a different way, or I believe them about these things, but then their actions aren't matching their words. It's like Steven can now see that they flipped twice. Rizzo and Savannah maybe still have some bad beef and drama with Sage and Joanne. So it's like, you're just using them for numbers, but you're not really in an alliance with them. So to me, I would see Sage and Joanne as more expendable in the Rizzo Savannah alliance.
Yeah, I would also see them as more expendable and maybe like throw them under the bus, see whether or not Rizzo and Savannah are willing to turn on them for the right reason.
Which I could see happening next week even. It's like, okay, maybe if Steven pitches something good to Rizzo and Savannah's group, and then like Savannah and Sage maybe still have beef, maybe Savannah and Jawan still have beef. You're like, okay, we need to vote out one of them. And it's like, yeah, I like Steven. Let's keep him around.
Exactly.
So we got to the reward challenge. It is a bunch of obstacles, and then you have to land rings, and then you win a fried chicken reward. You got split into two teams, where team one was Savannah, Alex, Christina, and Yellow Sophie. Team two was Steven, Sage, Jawan, and Rizzo. Blue Sophie was not picked for the reward, so she got to bet on which team she thought was going to win, and then she would get to go on the reward if they won. So she picked team two, Steven's team. But unfortunately, Blue Sophie was incorrect because Alex was very good at the ring toss at the end and wins it for team one.
You would think that Blue Sophie would know these things about Alex since they spent so much time together and also went to so many tribals together.
She betted against him because their team lost so many challenges at the beginning.
Maybe so.
So, it's a challenge, not really anything to talk about. I feel like the most cool, like interesting thing that happened was Christina, after her team won the challenge, she offers to trade places with Jawan, who lost the challenge, so that Jawan would get invited onto the fried chicken food reward. Jawan initially says no, and then he's talking, giving some backstory about how he struggles with receiving things. I thought this was a really nice thing for Christina to do. To me, it didn't really seem like so game related. It just seemed like Christina's a very nice person.
Yeah, I agree that it was a really nice thing for Christina to do. But I feel like, again, from the editing perspective, I was kind of confused why Christina chose to give her spot to Joanne. Like, yeah, he hadn't like received a food reward, but I didn't really think they were particularly close or anything like that. And so it felt kind of random, especially because the only thing we've like seen from Joanne this season has been him and Savannah beefing.
Yeah, I also thought this was like interesting, funny because there's like maybe beef between Jawan and Christina because Jawan was angry that Christina copied him with the Uncle Jeff stuff and then now also calls Jeff Uncle Jeff when Jawan said he started it first in the season. So with that like background lore, I thought it was funny if they're like low-key beefing.
I think it would be so funny to flex on someone who you were beefing with by being like, I'm being so nice by letting you go on this reward. Because then you can't even be mad at them because people are going to be like, why are you mad at the person who like gave up a reward for you? Meanwhile, you're just like seething because like you still have beef.
Yeah, the people that like wanted to go on rewards like Liz and Applebee's, you need someone like this that will give you up the reward for you.
Yeah, you also need to have an iconic line about how much you love Applebee's, your favorite sit down restaurant.
Yeah, see, good drama, good TV. The losing team, they were looking at the chickens back at the camp, and then I was like, this is sort of ironic because the winning team is eating fried chicken right now, and then Steven's talking about the chickens, freaking him out, and I was like, Steven, low key, looks like a chicken on the island at when he was talking about the chickens.
Explain that Stephen looking like a chicken on the island.
Like, have you ever seen those like Animorph books? I feel like the editor should have overlaid the chicken onto Steven's head when he was like talking about the chickens, rather than just flashing back and forth.
Yeah, do the Animorphs morphing him into a chicken?
Yeah, especially because like they put the Jaws theme or like some kind of rendition of the Jaws music behind Jawan talking. I was like, come on, this is perfect. Morph his head into a chicken.
Yeah, I feel like that might be above their pay grade.
That's true. It would have been the talk of the town. So we see, like we predicted last week, Blue Sophie has gone back to Savannah and Rizzo. They are now a power trio again, even though Blue Sophie, good for her last week, trying to play the field. She's like, I want to be with Savannah and Rizzo. I think it's exciting to watch because us as an audience know that they three have three advantages on their team, whereas Savannah and Rizzo just think it's them two with the advantages, and Blue Sophie is just there.
Yeah, it kind of makes me sad because it seems like she's third wheeling in this power trio.
True, but Blue Sophie told is like very close with Savannah because Savannah told her about her real job as a newscaster. So maybe she can get in there and then Rizzo will be the third wheel.
Yeah, maybe, potentially. I feel like Rizzo right now is still very powerful, and so Rizzo would have to be less powerful because I think Savannah likes the power and not just the niceness.
Yeah, which I think for Sophie, you probably don't tell them that you have the knowledge is power, especially when only Rizzo's idol is the only known idol. If there's another known idol, then yeah, maybe tell them, and then you can like scheme how to use it and then bond yourself closer together because you've all like schemed together for this big survivor moment. But yeah, I think it's good that she has kept it a secret when Rizzo is the only idol that she knows about.
Yeah, I think that is good too. So I do love a good scheme, but I kind of feel like there's been schemes behind the scenes that we've been left out on this season, just generally.
I could definitely see that. I think if they do learn that Christina has the idol, I think best thing would be for Sophie to tell Rizzo and Savannah like sort of bond them to you because you're all a part of this crazy survivor mother stealing an idol, maybe having the knowledge is power work. Problem is, you don't want everyone to know knowledge is power is up for play, and then Christina gives her idol to someone else, and then you pick and you look like a fool because you picked the wrong person to steal from. But I could definitely see like if she does tell Rizzo and Savannah, they are going to be like so giddy about the evil they can cause.
I love the evil that they could cause too.
So Blue Sophie, when Savannah tells her about the job, she's just like, okay, haha, that's cool. I was like, this is sort of awkward funny.
Yeah. Especially like again with the social game, if someone is telling you something like that, it's because they think it's important.
Yeah, so it seems like Savannah and Rizzo or Savannah and Sophie are bonded. I thought that their alliance relationship is very cute, like sister vibes. Blue Sophie is doing well with playing both sides because people are giving her all of the information. It's like Christina was telling her what the plan was, Savannah's telling her about her real job. I was like, this is some good stuff.
It is some good stuff, and I feel like it also explains the blue Sophie versus yellow Sophie thing where they definitely did need nicknames because they're both still relevant.
That's true. So we get to the immunity challenge. You have to use your feet in order to hold up a disc where the last woman and the last man win individual immunity. Steven is giving a lot of random space facts here. It was very much giving Christian Hubicki. And then Jeff seemed like brushing it off. He was like, okay, back to my job now.
Yeah, I think I am ambivalent on them giving two immunities, and I'm still kind of confused what immunity challenges they decide. Like, oh, this needs one man winner and one female winner. Like, huh? So I don't like double immunities, and then all of the fun facts were not that fun to me.
That's true. If something's like inherently like a gendered challenge, it makes more sense. But here, it seemed like they pretty equalized it well. Like Savannah online was saying they like measure your like leg length. So everyone's legs are at the same axis and like knee bent shape. So it seems like this isn't necessarily like men have better chance or women have a better chance of winning the challenge.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, oh, they just wanted to give two people immunity, maybe?
Yeah, two people safe, two people with idols, then there's like four people up for elimination.
Which isn't fun. as I keep saying, but
So Steven wins for the men. He was technically third place because Steven and Juwan were the last two guys. Juwan drops, Steven wins, but there is still Yellow Sophie and Savannah left for the women. They are battling it out. I think both of them are very good at these endurance challenges. So like low key, if you're one of them, you would want to vote the other out so then you winning challenges is easier and you don't have to spend less time in the challenge, so you're exerting less energy.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what we talked about last week with endurance challenges, where it gets harder every week, or I guess every episode. It's not every week for them. It gets harder every episode because you have less and less in your stores. So then, if you can save more energy by voting out the person who like pushes you to go as long as you do, then that's good for you.
Yeah, like if Steven dropped at 30 minutes, but Savannah and Sophie had to go for 40, you vote one of them out, then you could win after 31 minutes, and then you just saved yourself 9 minutes of grueling torture.
Yeah, and 9 minutes doesn't sound that long until you're doing Survivor.
So at the end there between Savannah and Sophie, Savannah says multiple times that she is not dropping out, and I thought this was a little bit spicy, just like her tone of voice here. I feel like if it's down to two, you sort of maybe have to frame it like, hey girl, do you want a deal? Like, how are you feeling? Maybe asking them to drop because you need it and you're gonna get eliminated otherwise. I feel like her saying multiple times that she's not budging sort of comes off very strong.
Very standoffish, you could say. I definitely agree that if you're going to be like, chatting with someone, you should be slicker about it.
Yeah, like, oh, it's down to us again. Like, if you drop, I'll give you the next one. Or like, I'm feeling really good. You should drop because I need this.
Yeah. I feel like I think maybe the strategy was like intimidation and trying to be like, I'm
Mm.
not going to give up. But I think there was no like, oh, I'm not going to give up, so you should drop kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's like we saw last week, or Sophie rolling her eyes about like Savannah's win. Maybe they're gonna have beef because both of them are good at these challenges. If it's like always down to you as the last two and you're like the constant loser out of it, you might start to get annoyed and jealous of the constant winner.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I think especially if you are like the second place person all the time, it's annoying because you're giving all of that energy, but then not even getting anything in return.
True. So very good for Savannah. Her second individual immunity win. She won it again, and she definitely needed it this episode, just like last week. And I feel like her winning here definitely helps Rizzo, her, and Sophie's alliance because now people can't just split the votes between Savannah and Rizzo. And I feel like that could partially be why people flipped this week.
Yeah. I think that definitely could be why people flipped. I'm hoping that next week we'll hear more about why people flipped because I get why they can't say it before the vote if they want to like keep who goes home a secret, but like I do feel like we need more explanation.
I agree. Why? Why are we not flushing Rizzo's idol? So Rizzo sees that Alex is playing the middle. Rizzo is like, I see what he's doing, and this is not going to work. I see that, like, this is not your game. This is my game. I thought that confessional was funny.
I thought that confessional was funny too. I love anything a little bit spicy.
Yeah, so we also see Rizzo throwing Alex under the bus to everyone throughout the episode. So it's like, okay, this really worked, I guess? Question mark.
I guess so.
It was just very confusing because Sage and Jawan throughout the episode was like, I don't like Savannah. I don't like Rizzo. We need to flush Rizzo's idol, XYZ. Like in every confessional, they're like, we need to vote one of the two of them out. And then they don't at the end of the episode. And then we see multiple people telling Rizzo that, like, hey, Sage and Jawan aren't with you. Like, they're not voting with you. They're flipping on you. So it's like, how did this all come together? How did we go from Sage and Jawan disliking you to hey, we're actually voting with you. What did you do to convince them?
How did the sausage get made?
Because it's like, how can you even articulate that voting Alex out is better for Sage and Juwan?
Wish I knew.
Because I'm like, to me, it makes more sense that, hey, we can flush the idol. I think that is more important. And, or you just like say, yeah, Rizzo, we're with you. Still put your votes on Rizzo. He plays the idol, and Alex goes home anyway because they're putting three or four votes on Alex. So it's not like he plays the idol and you, as Sage or Jawan, get eliminated. So it's like a win win. He's out with the idol, and Alex goes home.
Yeah, like there's a way to do this where you get rid of Rizzo's idol in addition to getting Alex to go home. Or you just get Rizzo to go home. Like, I don't know. It again, I want to know what was said.
I agree. Because right now, to me, it feels like Sage and Joanne are like voting out their own numbers. It's like they're going to not have enough people that are willing to vote Rizzo and or Savannah out soon. And I feel like next week at 8 is probably your last time because Yellow Sophie is probably going with the Rizzo Savannah group. And then you've got yourself, and then you got Christina and Steven as the other two. Like it just feels like they're voting out their own numbers.
Yeah, and maybe they don't see it like that. Maybe there's some like behind the scenes conspiracy that we don't understand, but with the information that we as viewers have, this seems like a counterproductive vote.
Yeah, because I guess you could be like, okay, Alex flipping back and forth is dangerous, but it's like technically only Alex voted in the first tribal council where Nate went home and he voted with you. He wasn't in the losing team at the MC vote, and then now he's just like spilling secrets back and forth. So it's like, to me, less dangerous because he's just one person doing that. If you wanted to vote out someone in the middle, you would try to take out Sage and Juwan because they're a pair trying to flip back and forth, and that seems more dangerous than a solo person trying to like spill the beans to everyone.
Yeah, especially because like one vote versus two votes, especially as you're getting to like later numbers, like two people flipping in a 7 person vote is a lot bigger of a deal than one person flipping.
So I was like, how did they get Sage and Juwan to flip to go with Rizzo? I was like, please, we need to know next time. I hope we get to know. But it's like just very confusing. How has this worked out for Rizzo? 3 episodes in a row now, not having to play the idol, not having to play any other advantages. I really thought this week that he was going to get eliminated with the idol and everyone was bluffing him.
It's the RIZGOD Rizgod, I guess. But it really makes you wonder, like, is it just because everyone else is stupid, or like is Rizzo actually playing a really smart game?
Yeah, it's sort of like, okay, is this like Eva's idol last time? Is Rizzo's idol becoming like Eva's idol, where people didn't really want to vote Eva and Joe out, and they're like okay with Eva keeping the idol? Like, do people not care that Rizzo has the idol now? And then if it is similar to like the Joe Eva stuff, does Rizzo's win equity drop a lot now? Because, okay, people can say, yeah, you weren't actually threatening. We kept you around with the idol because we didn't want to vote you out because we wanted to bring you and drag you along to the end. We were the ones flipping. You weren't convincing us to flip. Like you didn't have agency in this, and maybe you make that argument. Uh, but it seems like as a viewer, they're making it seem like Rizzo has all the power compared to at the end of last season. It seemed like it made more sense that people didn't want to vote Joe and Eva out because they wanted to bring Joe and Eva to the end because they were easier to beat.
Yeah, and I think part of it is the editing narrative, but I think part of it is also sometimes players say things in their exit interviews that make things make more sense. And so I'm wondering if that's going to happen too, as we maybe when Rizzo gets voted out, we'll hear more about like, okay, what was the actual story? But yeah, I think right now the edit is definitely giving Rizzo the credit in the narrative.
Yeah, sort of like opposite of Eva getting to go along with the idol, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see because Christina got a lot of screen time this episode. At the start of the episode, I was like, oh, Christina's going home this week. She got like 2 confessionals in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Though Christina's been really weird because I feel like she also had another week where she randomly popped up, and I was like, oh no, this is it. So,
Yeah. Bets on if Christina gets her idol stolen from her next time.
100%.
I feel like in the preview, like the 3 jurors were all shocked. And I don't really know what else could be so shocking. Maybe Rizzo getting eliminated with the idol. But even if that, if you didn't like Rizzo, you might be like snickering. You wouldn't be shocked like that.
Yeah, so who knows? But also, it could be a different reaction that they spliced in. So,
Yeah, it could be knowledge's power being played incorrectly, and they're all shocked that like Sophie stands up, says a different name, and then they're like, "Nope, I don't have anything, sorry." And then they're all shocked for that. Low key though, I hope Sophie plays it correct and they are able to steal an idol just because I feel like that would be funny and good TV.
I think that would be great too, but I'm not holding my breath for it.
Yeah. Feels bad for Christina though. She's getting dunked on.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this episode. Alyssa, anything else you want to talk about?
Nope, just my ongoing confusion about the editing.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode. Were you confused like us? Did you think Rizzo was getting eliminated with the idol? Or were you like, yeah, Alex is for sure going home? Were you confused that Sage and Jawan flipped? If you can explain it to us, let us know in the comments. But thank you all so much for watching. We hope you have a good Thanksgiving this week, and we will see you all next week for episode 10.